Hello, welcome to the Think Big for Africa podcast. My name is Ekene Banye. Today, I have a wonderful young gentleman who is creating wave in the fashion industry in Nigeria and Africa. See, it's the kind of guy I really want to talk to on this podcast. His name is Gabby Ibeabuchi. Gabby, how are you?
Yeah, you got it. Well, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very good. Yeah. Like I said, you're the kind of guy I want to talk to on this podcast for several reasons. One, you're doing something fantastic, and a lot of young Africans are seeing it and they are excited. And two, you are the kind of person who have gone through career changes, which many people like us are afraid to take, you know? So you are a one in maybe 100,000, okay, in Nigeria. Yeah. So tell me, Gabby, let's start this way. Introduce yourself to my audience. Tell us what you do and what tell us a little bit about your career and what you do right now.
Okay. Currently, I'm a fashion designer.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't start as a fashion designer. I started. I would say I started as a model. I used to model in my teenage years.
Okay.
Beyond teenage years, got into the university, finished my education, and of course, in Nigeria or in Africa, most parents tell you get another master's or get another degree, which I did. I got an MBA, master's in business administration. I specialize in marketing. So afterwards, the usual mentality here: get a job. But I know my love for fashion had already started even before this time. But I didn't want to make it a case because you dare not tell anybody that after studying the they just laugh at you and tell you to, refresh your mind. So of course I got a job. My first job was in Global.com. But before that time, I would consider myself a very successful model because I was able to do fashion shows and at the same time do photography jobs. For fashion shows, I did over 150 shows, over 150.
Wow.
Both in Nigeria and beyond. Then for photography, I was able to represent so many big brands. I don't know whether you want them mentioned, but
yeah, I mean, if it's
international brands,
you can.
I modeled for MTN, Unilever, of course we know the Dangote brand, and it's so many of them. Nigerian breweries. I represented Guinness, Gouda. I was the first face of Gouda Ultimate Search, if you know what that means.
Interesting.
And just so many of them. So success has always been the watchword for me. Wherever you find yourself, be the best at it.
Yeah.
So finally, pressure, get a job. I said, okay, who am I going to work for? So I had to sit down. I'm very deliberate. I'm someone that is very. I don't just walk in and do something. I plan it and I make sure it's something I really want to. So I go in full force and I give everything to it, and it must succeed. That's how it went. So I said, okay. I thought about so many companies, and the one that came strong in my mind is Global.com at that time.
Yeah.
Global.com was just a few years old and was run by Mike Denuga. So I had to study Mike Denuga's antecedents. He was able to turn Connery from a debt-inclined company into a profit-making company in 2 years. I said, no, I need to work with this man. Let me even see what makes it. that was simply how I applied, sent my CV, and I got a job in Globalcom just within 2 weeks. I know it was easier for me because I made a high grade in university. I made a second class upper, almost a first class. And then, of course, once you meet me, it won't take you time to know that
you charmed them. Okay.
Everything was fast track, and I worked in Globe. For a couple of years, I worked in special projects. From special projects, I moved to event and sponsorship. From there to customer service. I did telemarketing and all that. But after a while, I just couldn't continue. I needed to do something different. You know. But while I was doing all this, I was still making clothes. I just love making clothes. Go into the market, buy pieces of fabrics, make for my friends, make for myself. I just like to see people look good. So, but I couldn't tell anybody I wanted to do fashion design. In fact, it didn't even cross my mind strongly that you can do this.
Yeah.
Because it looked like, what are you talking about? So after a few years, I was also understudying another gem, Tony Lumelu. Tony Lumelu has done a lot of great things. We all know how at young age he was able to acquire a bank, bigger than every other bank in Nigeria, from just a little beginning. So I like greatness. I like great people. I like to learn. So after studying him, I said, I think it's time for me to do a little banking before I finally move on. So I said, okay, which bank? I said, no, I have to go work for this man again. Let me see what makes him tick. I already learned a lot from Adeno. So the same thing, I went to UBA. I didn't know anybody. So I just went there, submitted my CV just like that, and I was called for an interview. So after the interview, they asked me even to choose where I wanted to. So I told them I wanted corporate banking. I was told that you can't do corporate banking without any experience in banking.
Yeah.
Corporate banking is almost like the highest level of banking where you deal with multinationals. Well, I told them, is that corporate banking or nothing? Because I know I had what it took, and I could do it. So after much deliberation, interviews, I think I was able to convince them. And they said, well, let's give this guy a chance. So I think I'm one of the first people I know that's ever gotten into corporate banking in a big bank in
Nigeria. Yeah, from nowhere, no banking experience.
No banking experience.
I will agree.
And
it doesn't normally happen.
Exactly. I got started, and of course, when you get from the level I operated from or in, you just have to get started immediately. So I had to do a lot of pre-learning, self-learning, all that, because you have targets. You just have to perform. Nobody cares where you're coming from. Nobody just cares about it. So, but trust me, I in my first year, I got promoted as one of the best.
Wow.
The records are there anyway. So subsequent year, got another promotion. Third year, got another promotion. And of course, I've always said it, I was understudying the CEO then, who is Tony Lumelu. I wanted to know what made him tick and how he was doing. So unknown to him, I was just studying. And corporate banking made it easier because his eyes, of course.
Yeah. Well, you are more visible. Yes.
Exactly. So sometimes you meet him in the lift, he asks you questions, you can run to him. He's someone that listens, actually. Someone you could talk to even at that high level. He uses the same lift that every other person uses. He can run into you, talk with you, mildly and without any form of fear or anything, unlike other executives. So loving him was easy, and getting closer was even more easier, or easier rather. So I think there was a time in Nigeria when central bank did some reforms and asked bank MDs that had stayed up 10 years to leave.
Yeah.
Or maybe to do something else.
Yeah.
So at that time, he has stayed 10 years or he has done 10 years. So I think he stepped aside temporarily. And when he wasn't there, that was when I realized it was time for me to go. Because what was the reason of coming here? I met everyone, and the person I was looking up to is not here. So I just had to move on. So it was then I realized that my passion had come to stay.
Yeah.
So immediately I registered the company. I went to our CSE here, registered a company, fashion company. Of course, I already registered and I used to do events. I have an event company
Yeah.
as well. And I gave myself the time. 1 year. I just didn't leave immediately. I know why I'm emphasizing this because a lot of
yeah, it's good.
I want to do that. You need to plan. So I like to plan. So I gave myself 1 year and I wrote it down, just placed it beside my bed, and I was counting down. So before then, I had already started, making inquiries on how to get started. Making all the necessary moves.
Yeah.
Launch myself into the fashion industry. And at exactly 1 year, coincidentally, the week I wanted to leave was when appraisal was completed and I got another promotion. So I told myself, I just have to go. And promotion was supposed to start in 3 months. It was tempting, actually. But I said, I just have to go now. It's time. So that morning, I hope my introduction is not lengthy.
No, go on.
All right. So that morning, of course, I went to the head of the corporate bank then, and I told him I told him I wanted to go. The man laughed. He said, "We just had our Monday meeting, and you're coming after 1 hour to tell me you want to go. Is this some sort of joke or what? Is everything okay?" I told him I had already made up my mind, and I had written my resignation letter even a month before. So he didn't believe it. He asked me, "Is there any issue?" Maybe he was looking at some mental issues, health issues. I said, "No, I'm very fine." So after a while, I was able to convince him, and he said, "Well, I don't want to lose you at this moment." And just to add there, the man that was my head of corporate bank then is actually an MD of another bank at the moment. So I know maybe with time we can make reference to that. So finally, I think he didn't have any option because I convinced him beyond reasonable doubt. But there was something he told me when I was leaving. He said, "If it doesn't work out, please, I will always be there for you. You are one of my best." And sincerely, I don't know what got over me on that day. I told him I will never return.
Ooh.
He told me to get out of his office because he felt, and of course, I shouldn't have said that, but
yes.
he just knew me from just my, from just an unknown part of me. So, and trust me, you see that thing I said that day was what kept me going because it was wrong.
Yeah, you said something that you shouldn't have said, and because you said it, you couldn't fail.
Exactly. So I'm grateful every day I remember that, and I said, God, and I've learned from it because most of the time, if I want to execute a project, I'll start telling my good friends about it. Because I hate failure, once I start telling them about it, they start reminding me how far with this. I know I have to do it, but I can't go back to tell them I couldn't do it anymore. So it has been my guide over the years.
It has worked for you, okay, but sometimes something will not work. But be bold enough to stand up and say, hey, I failed this time, but I will try again. See,
yes, talking about that, failure for me is a learning point. I will never tell you something failed. So as long as I want to achieve it, it might not work the first time.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't consider it failure.
Okay.
It may not work the second time. I still don't consider it failure.
Okay, that's good. That's very good. That's very good. Wow. You see, your story is something that many of us need to look at, because I will tell you, at least 50% of the people you worked with in banking, even in Globalcom, do not like that job. They wanted something different. Even today, 50% of the people who work in banking in telecoms in Nigeria do not like their job. But unlike you, they're not bold enough to face the world and say, hey, let me go out there and do something different. That's why you're unique. Okay.
I believe you.
Yeah, I was in banking myself for 12 years. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. I worked
in Nigeria?
Yeah, I worked for Citibank for 7 years, and then I came to the UK, you know. See, that's why I know that this is true, because it was true for me. Okay. I got into banking because I did well in school. And yeah, if you do well in school, the banks, the oil companies, they're always there. Okay.
Yes.
So as a young man, I never really thought about, do I want this or not? Okay. Now, when I finally decided this is not for me, and I was trying to move away from banking, okay, even though I was successful at it, okay, but I knew this is not what I really want. I was just trying to move away. That's when I had my health issues. Okay, so I know that many people in banking, in telecoms, in oil companies, yes, they are there because of the money, the prestige, but they don't really like it.
That's true.
So you, I say, kudos to you. Kudos to you. You are bold enough to tell yourself the truth, and you did something about it, you know? Now, I've heard your story about how you got into fashion. So I'll ask you this. In your view, how does learning skills, okay, contribute to entrepreneurship compared with innate talent? And what is the role of passion in achieving that goal?
Well, the truth about it is that talent is not enough.
Okay.
You have to develop it. Hence,
Okay.
you need skills. And I wanted to be a fashion designer. I didn't stop there. Immediately I left the bank, I went to a fashion school because, like I said, I'm very deliberate. I don't just do things halfway. So I went to a fashion school and I spent enough time to learn the art before I even started.
Wow.
So I started telling friends and family that, yes, so I won't do it. So you have to learn, you have to, relearn, and you have to keep learning. So it doesn't just stop. I've undergone different trainings and all that, and still, so skill is not enough. You need more than that. So what else?
Yeah, I mean, many people believe that they can't do something because they don't have the innate talent. Okay.
Oh,
now,
okay.
Innate talent is good for me, but then, like you said, you still need skills, which we can all learn. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm asking how much of this contributes to you achieving your goal. But I've learned something for you, okay, which I want many young Africans to learn. You, like you said, you are deliberate, okay, and many people are not deliberate. People, when maybe something comes to mind, they just run with it without planning, without going to study, and that's maybe one of the reasons why many people fail at things, because they don't plan, they don't learn. I mean, it seems the way you do your things are akin to success. What do you think?
Yes, I think you also mentioned something about passion,
Yes.
skills, and talent, skills, and passion.
Yes.
Like I said, you need skills. After beyond passion, you need skills, and then for passion, for me, passion is the major driver. Passion is the engine of a car. In a car, the car can look beautiful. Sometimes you can even drag the car, meaning the car is moving.
Yeah.
But without the engine, then the car has a limit to where it can go. It will just stress itself moving because you are dragging. So passion for me helps you, because you see, everything you do takes something from you.
Yeah.
I left the office 9 p.m. yesterday. I got home, I started working. And I worked till about 1 a.m. yesterday. And I woke up by 4 a.m. today to continue the job because I need to get it done. Now, it's only passion that can make you do that.
Yeah.
Yes. And each time I remember what I'm achieving and how I'm going to make things easy for people, you know, it fuels me more.
Yeah.
That's on one side. Now, on another side, what passion also does for you is that when you're passionate about something, you want to be the best at it. If you're making clothes, you love to see people look extremely good in those clothes.
Yeah.
Because you just love what you're doing. So it will help you to, be more innovative, more creative, and at the same time, absorb stress.
Yeah.
Stress of the mind is even worse than physical stress.
Yeah.
So passion helps you to absorb all those stress and make it easier or make it less burdensome, unlike when you're doing something physical. So
yes.
I think the three work together, but for me, passion is more sustainable. It sustains you more than even the skill and the talent that you have.
Okay. Very good. So, see, you have mentioned something about why you went to Globalcom and why you went to UBA, because of the leaders you saw, okay, and you admired. But I've read something about you, and I know even beyond these leaders, there were leaders that drove you from the beginning. Okay. And I want to ask you about the role of mentors, okay, in your success. Okay. Your parents. I've read a little bit about your parents and the role of your mom. Okay. So tell us how much they contributed to you to be the kind of person you are today.
Okay, a little bit about my parents. I lost my father earlier. I think when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And then my mom had to take us all, into that journey till date. There are two different people and they had two different approaches.
Okay.
I consider my father as someone who uses positive reinforcement. My father never laid hand on me. If you know African parents, if you mess up, they beat the hell out of you. That's how they correct you. So, even as my father is, I wouldn't say my father is that educated, but he was also successful in his business. He was one of the best at the time. With little or no, what do you call it?
For my education.
Exactly. So, but he uses or he used positive reinforcement. When you do something wrong, my father will call you, talk to you, and negotiate with you. He just make you realize, I know you didn't do this because you wanted to do it. You did it because maybe you are just out of your mind, and I know you can do better. That's positive reinforcement. So he will make you feel like a mini god, and next time you want to impress him by doing better.
Yeah.
So, but my mom is a bit different. So her own is, you have to kiss the whip first, and then learn it here. So a blend of these two, actually for me, made it, balanced everything, because when you remember your mom, you wouldn't want to go through that cane or whatever chastising. When you remember your dad, but when two of them are around, you don't even know which side you're going to run to. So it's better you just take it. So, well, my dad is a great person. He was a great person. Sometimes it's difficult for me to use words because what he has done is still here, and he was successful in what he did. And one thing he taught me, which is why I said I'm very deliberate and I don't give up. He said, "There's nothing impossible for man to do," and I believe him. I know 100 years ago, nobody believed we could have an airplane.
No.
Maybe.
No.
But it's possible today. Nobody believes I'm talking to you from the UK. I'm in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And we're seeing each other.
We're talking instantly.
Exactly. Yeah. So he reformed my mindset to believe that everything can be possible. You don't have to see somebody do it before you can do it. So sometimes I call myself a risk taker, but calculated risk. And it reflects in my designs. Because when you come to my showroom or when you see my craft, you will know that 80% of things I do have never been done by anybody before. So I come up with new things, and somehow people will love them, and others will start copying, and it becomes trend.
Yeah.
So I don't believe in just relying and saying I have to do it the way this person is doing it, the way Gucci is doing it. Yes, Gucci is doing right. You can learn how they are doing theirs, but it doesn't have to be exactly the way Gucci is doing it.
Yeah.
So, and for my mom, she's also a very loving person, because you know how difficult it is for one parent to take care of, especially at that teenage age when people have started, adrenaline and all the rest of them have started. So
as a teenager, the most difficult time of your life,
especially for parents.
Yeah.
So, and she was able to pull us through, and I think there was a balance for me, which I encourage parents also to try and make a balance at all times. Everybody doesn't have to be let's queue. Someone can be the one pushing, the other one can be the one bringing closer. The same thing applicable to business as well. Sometimes you just have to find a way to create a balance for people that work with you, for you to be more efficient.
Yeah. Very good. So we've talked about your parents. Now let's talk about your career mentors. Okay. According to you, both Adenuga and Tony Elumelu were mentors for you. And I saw your post on LinkedIn when you went to Tony Elumelu's office, and I saw the pictures, So tell me about the relationship you had with them, okay, and how Tony in particular mentored and influenced you.
Well, sometimes I find it difficult, or currently I find it difficult to say this is my mentor or this is not my mentor. I know that I have people I look up to in different sectors.
Yeah.
Which we all call mentors.
Mentors, yes.
So for me, I call them people I look up to, because you might be good at telecoms and you might not be good at something else.
Yes.
You might be good at car repairing or car repairs. You might not be good at some other thing. So I for me, I believe mentors or that word mentoring is encompassing. So a lot of times I don't use it much. I rather say I look up to this person.
Yeah.
You know. But for Tony Elumelu, Tony is a great person. I told you, Tony was the reason I joined the bank.
Yeah.
You know, this is the second time I'm saying it. Apart from when I wrote it on my LinkedIn, this is my second time I'm saying it. He is the reason I went into banking, because I wanted to work, understudy him closely, and learn from him. Now, while I was in the bank, I wouldn't say we had personal relationship, because it was about the job.
Yeah.
You know, just get your job done and then everybody moves on. But lately, I think I want to believe he identified maybe the good things I've been doing, or somebody identified and recommended, I don't know. But I got an email from his personal assistant that, you know, he would like me to join his mentoring group, which I was happy about.
Wow.
So I immediately jumped on it, and that was how, you know, we got started. And trust me, is a lifetime experience for me, because, you know, somebody you've been looking up to all these years, standing for you and willing to remold you and redirect you, I think I will forever be grateful to.
Wow, fantastic. See, before I started banking, the year I came out from my MBA and I was looking for jobs, I applied to his bank. It was then called I've forgotten now. Standard Trust. Yes. You know, and I had some communications with him. Okay. Well, at the end of the day, I didn't join the bank. I didn't get the job. But the way he reacted to my message with him was very impressive. And I encouraged so many people to work with him, including my mentor, one of my mentors in Citibank. And of course, they worked together. And some of my friends who worked with UBA too. So Tony is somebody I look up to, and I can understand how influential he is to you now, you know. So if people like Tony are people more of us need to look up to and learn one or two things from him, you know. I think it's fantastic. So
very good. Very good.
Yeah. So tell us some of your biggest challenges in your fashion career and how you have been able to cope with them or resolve them.
Okay. Sincerely, most times I don't even like talking about challenges. Like I said, challenges make one stronger.
Yeah.
So challenges brings the best out of you. But for the sake of people listening or viewing and who may want to learn from this, I can just point out a few, you know, in the course of my journey to where I am today. First and foremost, one of the major challenges I had when I started was, you know, a lot of people didn't believe in me.
Yeah.
You know, some of them thought I was just the academic type because I was very good academically, well, still good anyway. So they thought this one is meant for the corporate world.
Book person.
Exactly. So when I now told them I wanted to be a fashion designer, it's just a few that knew I was a model. I was in that family or in that, you know, space that you say, well, maybe what could be the reason and all that. So a lot of people didn't believe at first. But what I always tell people is that once you believe in yourself, you have to move. You have to give people reason to believe you. Don't sit down and start crying. They don't believe in me. I can't believe in you until I see reasons to believe.
Yeah.
So you have to make it happen. Now, when I started, of course, we all know living in Nigeria today is already a challenge on its own.
Yeah.
There is no doubt. So I don't believe in crying fouls and keep, repeating the same thing that we just have to find a way to make it work. This is our country. We have to make it work. So, of course, we know, we have power issues, we have different things, but the one that I'll point out here is manpower.
Yeah.
Manpower is usually the issue here because the system has made a couple of people here believe that, let me just find what to eat, how to benefit myself. They are not interested in customers.
Yeah.
Let him just take it and pay me. But as a business person who has come to stay, you're thinking beyond money. You're thinking, how do I make this person happy? How do I make him better than, give him something better than what he's getting elsewhere? How do I keep him so that he can be with me forever?
Yeah.
How do I make him feel? Do you understand? So in the course of thinking all those things, it helps you to do better even when the customer is not expecting as much as you're giving. And that's what the customer running and want to come back again.
Yeah.
And helps you to build up your capacity at the end. So a lot of people that work here are lackadaisical about. They are just interested in the money.
Yeah.
Not interested in supporting your dreams. For example, you have tailors. Tailors, okay, now when I tell people about problems, I also tell them how I'm able to overcome that.
Yes.
When I started, I realized that a lot of tailors were not loyal. And I understand the reason because a lot of them are not educated. So they are from that level where let's just get this thing done and buy food to eat.
Yes.
They're not interested in building a house or buying a car or leaving a legacy or that. So what I now did was, for every time I hire a tailor after a series of interviews, I train you. And while I'm training you, I'm paying you your full salary. So I train you. Some of them I train 1 month, 2 months before you start producing what I can sell. That's number one. Two, I created a couple of incentives for them. What I usually do is that if at the end of the month you stood out without issues, there's a prize. We celebrate you. You can earn double your salary for that month. So with that, everybody's looking forward to being better. Next month I want to win this money. I want to remain here. Things like that.
Yeah.
Then another major one is for designers that have gotten to the level that we are now, that we're looking beyond Nigeria.
Okay.
We started, looking, beyond the shores of Africa.
Yeah.
Because my clientele base has grown beyond Nigeria.
Yeah.
I have customers in the US now, I have in the UK, I have in Australia, I have in different parts of the world. Now, government policies and some other, issues are not favorable to most entrepreneurs here. I don't even want to talk about finance because that one is almost like the most difficult thing. So you just have to do everything by yourself. You have to do everything yourself. But one thing that has helped me, like I always tell young entrepreneurs, is character. You see, sometimes you may not have money, but if you have character, history of good character and conduct, it will be easy for people to trust you and support you when you need anything.
Yeah.
And that's what has worked for me. If I want 100 million naira today, I know people that can bring that without even asking, when are you bringing it back? I can say that with my full chest.
Yeah.
So character is key. Government policy has not helped us at all. But there's something that happened to us recently, or happened to me recently. The US consulate identified a couple of us, 20 Nigerians. I think you can Google it. Consulate select 20 Nigerians.
Yeah.
From fashion and all this. I can give the link later.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, good. So what they now did was that they identified talents here. People who not just know how to sew, but these are people that have what it takes to dominate the world. So luckily, and I'm privileged to be one of those people. I don't know how it happened. I don't know anybody at the embassy. We just got an email that somebody nominated me for
Wow.
that, and I'm grateful. I use this opportunity to thank them. Now, what's the program all about? My products have been certified exportable to US, tax-free.
Interesting.
Tax-free. What that means is that through other possibilities, things, because we're still working on it. Hopefully by summer next year, we should be able to dish out in full scale to every corners in the US to our product.
That's good.
Now, they are not just doing that, they are helping us through. I understand they're going to set up African stores where we are going to stock our product. They're going to connect us to buyers from all over America.
Excellent.
Who are going to sponsor. Because the problem we have as Nigerians, everybody thinks, or most people think, just because of one or two people, these people are not trustworthy and all the rest of them. The truth about it is that a lot of Nigerians are trustworthy.
Yeah.
A lot of Nigerians are coordinated, are competent. A lot of Nigerians are hungry for success and are willing to do things right to get it done.
Yes.
Trust me, I've been in business for a while and I've seen a couple of people doing great, legally and, doing things the right way, and they're growing. So I think for me, it wouldn't have been possible for a US consulate to identify people like us locally here to such opportunity if we weren't doing things right over.
Yeah. They must have done their own due diligence and all that.
I'm barely, that opportunity is something that that is going to change the face of fashion in Nigeria. Trust me, by the grace of God, you are going to see the impact. And why I mentioned this was because I told you our government hasn't done much in that regard for us. Another country, someone else is coming in to identify us in this country and creating such opportunity.
Yeah. See, this is what made America great. They identify talents all over the world and they bring them to America. Okay. Now, I hope they're not trying to lure you to America. Okay. Because see, now Africa should be doing the same thing. But I'm not even saying they should go out to other countries and find the talents. No, go around the world and find talented Africans, because we are many. You see, we have a lot on the continent, and then we have a lot in diaspora. We are many.
I think one thing America is doing beyond fashion is that, there's something I tell people. When you live in a community and you make everybody happy and successful, you're going to live at peace.
Yes.
But when everybody is hungry, no matter how much you have,
you're not at peace. Yeah, so that's true.
That is what I think America is doing. America is trying to make as much people as they can comfortable.
Okay.
And in the course of doing that, they're also going to benefit. There is no doubt. Because by the time I start, extending, my craft to America, Americans are going to start enjoying what ordinarily they wouldn't know existed.
Yeah.
So while I'm doing it and I'm helping myself, I'm helping my country, they're also benefiting from it.
Yeah.
So I think it's mutual.
No, it's very this is very mutual. Okay. So I applaud it, and I know people like you do a good job of promoting Africa and Nigeria, right? One other thing I wanted to ask. You say you have been organizing fashion shows for a long time. Okay. Tell us about the most recent events, and if any particular project, apart from this American project you just mentioned, that you are still working on around the world.
Okay, I have an event company, like I tried to mention earlier.
Okay.
That handles mostly fashion events.
Okay.
I've been opportune to be part of, the Nigerian Fashion Week for a couple of years.
Okay.
I've organized a lot of fashion events, supported a lot of companies, to achieve all that. But when COVID happened, it's more like everything went quiet. But things are beginning to pick up, especially here in Africa, and we are having the Intra-Africa Trade Fair that is holding in Durban.
Very good.
I'm going to be part of it.
That's South Africa, yeah?
Yes, in South Africa. That's on the 15th. And the good part of it was, I was selected to be part of that.
Sorry, I'm going to see. You always talk about you are being selected. See, that tells me something, that you are being recognized all over, because you didn't apply for the American event. You didn't apply for this. You were selected. That means your peers in the industry and even outside the industry are recognizing Gabby is doing something worth noticing. I'm so happy about that.
Exactly. In fact, the good thing about it is that this is like, the name Intra-Africa Trade Fair is just beyond Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's more like saying when Africa gathers, and it's not a fashion event per se.
Okay.
It's a trade fair.
Yeah.
That involves every facet of life. So fashion is
all sectors.
Exactly. So I think it's the biggest trade fair in Africa. So I'm working on it. Even this morning, why I was late was I need to put up some documents to post them and all that. And we are almost 90% done. So hopefully in a few days, we should be ready to move to South Africa. So we are working on a lot of things. I may not even talk about now, but trust me, 2022 is going to be better than every other year we've had, or I have had as a designer, because COVID, opened our eyes to so many other ways of doing things.
Yes.
Trust me, apart from the fact that we are extending our tentacles to US and other continents, in terms of fashion shows and other events, you are going to hear a lot from us, a lot, so many of them coming up.
That's nice.
We're definitely going to be part of a lot of them.
That's nice. That's nice. Now, what advice would you give young Africans, Nigerians in the fashion industry and maybe entrepreneurship in general?
Okay, in the fashion industry, which I also extend to other industries or entrepreneurship generally, one, because I understand that a lot of times when people see you doing great, being celebrated, and being glamorous, you're on TV, you're everywhere. Most times, a lot of people are inspired to just want to be what they see, and not to work out what they see. For fashion is a business that is talent-based.
Yes.
So if you want to be a fashion designer, trust me, number one thing is you must be sure you have the talent to do it. Because the creative industry, I consider, is a going concern. Is something that is transitional. It's something that is contemporary.
Okay.
It's not something you just wake up and say you want to be copying one person and doing the same thing. For you to be able to stand the test of time, you must be creatively endowed. That's number one. Secondly, you must be passionate about it. Passion is one major thing I advise people. If you're not passionate about something,
don't do it.
Trust me, just for a while. It's just for a while. So find out what you're passionate about. It doesn't have to be passion. I have a friend that likes driving, and today he runs a company that has over 10, 15 fleets. Started driving, made it commercial, started employing more people. Today he sits down, he runs a fleet of cars. I have friends that like to talk. If you want to talk, you like to talk. There are so many places you can walk. There's so many things you can design.
Like me.
I don't like to talk. Do you understand? I like to think and I like to create, and with my head. Talking is not my thing. So somebody has to help me talk if I need someone to talk. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you see, talent is not enough. Passion is also not enough. In all this, what you need is action, sustained action.
Yep. Yeah.
There are times I don't feel like coming to work. There are times I don't even feel like doing what I'm doing anymore. But it can only happen just in a few minutes, in a few hours. The next time, the passion will overwhelm every thought you have at that time.
Yeah.
And
you're back at it.
So, and it's normal for you to think like that. I always tell people when they come to me and say, I don't feel like doing this, I say, it's normal. Don't worry. Just give it time. Go home and sleep and, wake up and you feel different. Do you understand? If you feel like doing it all the time, every day, you are not human again. Sometimes you have good thoughts, there are times you have bad thoughts, but you just have to be consciously, putting the positive one beyond or above the negative one. It's just normal.
Yeah.
It's just normal. So for me, I advise people to be consistent.
Yes.
See, I've done this for 8 good years. More like all I do. I eat, I think, I dream, I sleep, fashion. There are times I don't even make money from it. But I keep doing it. And I can tell you, it's beginning to pay off.
Yeah.
No doubt. It's beginning to pay off. It's beginning to pay off because we're getting recognitions from everywhere. I have a mentoring group now that is growing. Almost we're heading to 100. We're building up young people, training them, encouraging them, supporting them, because sometimes experience is key. There are so many things I learned in the job because I came in from another industry to start this and nobody taught me. So, but now that I've learned those things, I don't want other people to make the same mistake.
Yeah.
So, them how to soft-learn, how to get things done, and I've been able to build. There is this lady that has been doing this fashion thing for even way before me, longer than I've done it, about 15 years. But a lot of things were not going right. But when we met, within 3 months, she started making profit. She started doing better. And I can tell you, this should be like the 2nd year now. I was able to identify the fact that she can teach. And I encourage her to start a fashion school. Starting a fashion school doesn't mean you have to go and rent a big house, a big shop. If you have a store, if you have a machine, you can bring someone to stay beside you, start teaching. You're already a teacher.
Yeah.
While you're teaching him, you're learning as well. So today he has over 50 people in his school.
Wow.
Less than 2 years.
Wow. Yeah.
So I think that's what mentoring does. And also encourage young people, be open to learning.
Yeah.
Don't just say, I can do it, I know it all. See, I learn every day. As I'm talking to you here now, I'm learning from you as well. I'm open to learning. So that mentality is what keeps you driving. And someone like Tony, I remember somebody asking him in the last meeting we had, is it last month or early this month, who are your mentors? And he said that he looks up to a couple of people as well. And he mentioned a couple of people he's also learning from.
Yeah.
So everybody keeps learning.
Yes.
You can learn from a child. You can learn from an adult. You can learn from anywhere. But the most important thing is keep upgrading yourself every minute, every hour.
Yeah.
That's just the key.
See, this is the key for Africa's development. People need to learn. And that's my passion, actually. Teaching, education. Okay. A lot of our youths are not willing to learn. They don't read any book. Once they finish school, they don't open books. And the majority of them that open books, they open only maybe novels. Novels is no way, is not the way, you know. And
Indian love channels where
exactly.
what is scripted, and you think those things are real.
Yeah. So I like what you said. So tell me, Gabby, now you are in the industry and you are building a brand. You are creating a legacy. Okay. So what is your vision for fashion in the next 20, 30 years?
Okay. Let me drop this here. Fashion is a $3 trillion industry in the world as of today, if not more. Because I'm quoting from 2017, it must have grown beyond that now. The second biggest fashion establishment is based in the US. That's Nike. Now, you see, when you see America doing the same thing I mentioned earlier, there's a reason why they're doing it, and there's a reason why they are getting results. That's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
I don't think Africa shares up 5% of that industry.
No, I don't think so.
We don't. So in the next 20 years, I know the attention is being drawn to Africa now. Trust me, we have a lot of talent here.
Yes, I know.
My brother, I'm not saying this because I want people to, I'm not saying it just to market us. I know
too.
We are talented. We are talented, especially in the fashion industry. And I like the competition.
In the creative industry as a whole.
In the creative industry.
Yeah.
I think that's the right word. Our music is taking over the world.
Yes.
Our movie industry
is taking over the world. Yes.
Now, comedy industry
is taking over that's the world. It. Mm-hmm.
The next is fashion. Trust me. Just write it down.
No, I know. That's why I'm talking to you.
Yes. I always tell people, there was this article I wrote in the Sun a few weeks ago, and I told them that fashion is gold. Another name for fashion is gold. We are just realizing it now. And fashion can give Nigeria the same, if not more than what they get from oil.
Yes, I know that.
I can defend that any day.
I know that.
Tell me time and place, I'll come and tell you how fashion can give Nigeria more than what they're getting from oil. Do you understand? So now, I remember 2 years ago, just before COVID, I was in the US, and I took a couple of clothes. I think about just a few clothes, and of course, there was no store, but just staying in a hotel room and wearing one or two of them to some nearby lounges and all the rest of them. In just 24 hours, I sold everything I had, including the one I was wearing. I had to buy a t-shirt. You can see I'm wearing the t-shirt. I feel free sometimes,
Yeah.
I had to buy a t-shirt. I didn't come home with anyone. I only came back to Nigeria with t-shirts and the shoes that I bought in the US. So they love African fashion.
Yeah.
Our fashion industry is beginning to gain grounds. Thanks to America for giving us this opportunity now. Trust me, hoping things go well, in the next 1 or 2 years, you are going to be able to walk into a city, a town, and walk straight to an African store and pick up something manufactured in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I personally would want to see that happen, and I'm working towards it.
I also want to see that happen. Yeah.
It's going to happen. Trust me. You are going to walk into a mall in let's say Manchester, and as you're walking in, you're seeing an African store. The same way you see a Gucci, sorry, side by side.
Yeah.
That is about to happen. Just write it down. So African fashion is about to dominate the world. You need to see what we are doing right now, and thank God for the exposure and even this opportunity that we have here. That talking about it, a lot of people are going to listen to this, and they will realize that African fashion has gone beyond what they see in papers.
Yeah.
Come closer and see that we are doing great things.
Great.
So I see Africa, getting a chunk of that percentage. African fashion is growing at geometric progression, and I can tell you for free, by the time you're even talking about 20 years, 20 years is long.
Yeah.
In 20 years, by the grace of God, I want to travel to a country, or let's even say a small country, and see them imitate my brand. It sounds crazy to anybody listening.
Oh no!
Just like we imitate
imitation is it shows that they actually love you.
Exactly. So I want to see that happen. It has already started happening in Nigeria here. I see people. The other day I was online. There's an online store that I saw somebody selling something that I produced, recreated with my name written on it. I didn't stop them. I didn't even make any noise about it. I felt good about it. You know why I felt good about it? Because one, I know. If you come to our store here, we have over 350 designs per time, and all of them are different. No two are the same in this store that I'm talking to you from now. So what that means is that I know how creative I am. If you copy this one, the next minute I'm on another one. So copy, no problem. You're even helping me to think better. So at this stage now, it's something that made me feel proud that yes, people are started recognizing what we are doing. And the same thing is happening to a lot of top designers in Nigeria and in Africa. So it's a good sign. It's a good sign. I want to get to America someday, or get to Europe, or get to Asia, and I see that people are copying and printing T-shirts, and they are writing it 1206, and they're selling it in their communities. I want to see that, and it's about to happen.
Very good.
So I see in the next 20 years, we are going to be able to contribute at least between 15 and 20% to that quota. That's the vision, the mission, that's the drive for me at this time. And I'm going to do everything I can within my purview to make sure, we put Nigerian fashion, we bring, our craft to the world.
Very good. Very good. So, Gabby, thank you very much for this discussion. So tell my audience where they can find your stores in Nigeria.
Okay, currently we have our showroom in Sulere.
Okay.
Sulere is in Lagos,
yeah.
Nigeria. Number 18 Adelabu Street in Sulere. Okay. And of course we are on social media, which is easier for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Our name is 1206. I think you can see
just like your t-shirt and your
12 in number, then 06, 12 in alphabet, sorry, then 06 in number. That's 1206 Clothing.
Yeah. Okay.
So even once you Google that, it's going to direct you to our social media. That's what we have on Instagram. That's what we have on Facebook, and on LinkedIn is just my name, Gabby Ibeabuchi. Mm-hmm. So if you forget any of this, just go to Google, type 1206 or type top Nigerian fashion designers. Sure, we're going to.
Yeah. Gabby, thank you very much for being here today. I know I will see you very soon in Nigeria, and I will see you everywhere in the world. All right.
Hopefully.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity. I hope I was able to meet your expectation.
Oh man, you did wonderfully. All right.
So we're open anytime. Give us a call. Short notice. We'll be there for you.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Bye.
Listen or watch more episodes of Think Big for Africa podcast with new guests every week. Subscribe to ensure that you are notified whenever new episodes are available.